When many were running away from New Orleans, Drew Brees ran to us.
It was almost like manna from heaven.
A player and city both battered and bruised, but not broken, coming back together.
This is part of the resurrection and resurgence to one of America's greatest cities.
As the region rebuilt after Hurricane Katrina, he built the Saints into champions.
More than what's advertised.
A Saint on and off the field.
Has there ever been one person who meant more to a community than Drew? I would say that's a resounding no.
Tonight, we celebrate the greatest athlete and one of the most important figures in New Orleans history.
Number 9 on the field, but in the hearts of those in the Houdat Nation, he will always be number 1. Good evening, I'm Fletcher Mackel, and welcome to a special Saints on 6, Drew Brees, Forever a Saint. Tonight we're celebrating Brees' greatest moments on and off the field. We begin with an exclusive one-on-one with the man himself. I was the only local reporter granted the opportunity to sit down and talk with Drew about a career well played and a life off the field well lived. All right, Drew, over the last few years, you've told us that you thought about playing till you were 45 years old. The last 4 years, the Saints have won more games in the NFL than any team. The last 2 years, you threw 51 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. So why now? What was the ultimate decision to retire?
Well, I know you can't play forever, so at some point this day was going to come. I mean, truthfully, this has been on my radar for the last 4 or 5 years. I'd say ever since the 2017 season, I think I really chose to take the approach of just 1 year at a time. I think there's some other factors that have crept into that, and that being the age of my kids. My oldest son is already in middle school, and they're all involved in so many activities, and I want to be such a big part of their life. And obviously, football monopolizes a lot of your time, and so that became a big factor in that decision as well.
All right, 15 years ago, when so many people were running away from New Orleans, you and Brittany truly ran into the city. A Super Bowl championship, all the records, all 4 of your kids were born here. More than $45 million donated to various charities. Has this even exceeded your wildest expectations from 15 years ago?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that the last 15 years would be what it has been, not just on the field, but especially off the field. I think we've had a chance to grow into the fabric of New Orleans, and that's what everyone told us when we got to New Orleans. And I think those were the emotions that we first felt, and that was that there's something different about this city. This city has a spirit and a life that's just really unique. And so many people, when they met us for the first time, the conversations weren't about football. The conversations were about the city and the community. And so I think we realized that something was different right off the bat. What I've been most proud of is the feeling that we've all kind of helped make New Orleans a great place to raise a family, and that's to me, I think the testament of a great city is, yes, it's got this culture and a lot of these unique, aspects to it. People love to come there and have a good time, and they love to come to the festivals and, all these other events that New Orleans hosts, right? We know how to throw a good party, but at the end of the day, this is a great place to start a business. It's a great place to raise a family. Those are the things that are most important.
If you could, what have the last few days been like? I know that obviously maybe you had made your decision, but now that it is public and now that it is official, has it been more emotional maybe than you thought? Has there been crying and laughing, people reaching out and kind of taking a chance to reminisce a little bit more now that it is officially over?
Yeah, listen, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, I knew I was going to retire, and then it was just a matter of kind of finding the right moment to announce it. And there wasn't true finality or a closure until I actually did it, right? And then right when I kind of hit the post button, on Sunday, and officially announcing the retirement, with the kids, of course, and then kind of had a bunch of big plans on Monday and Tuesday in New Orleans. It wasn't until that moment where all of a sudden it became reality.
That's the end of an era.
We talked about much more in that exclusive interview. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Drew Brees talks about why he chose NBC as his new broadcasting team, and he shares words of advice for his replacements, Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Right now, though, let's go live to sports anchor Sharif Ishak, who joins us to talk more about what Brees' former teammates are saying about his amazing career. Sharif?
Yeah, Fletcher, Drew Brees had hundreds of great teammates in his 15 years in a black and gold uniform, including former team captain Scott Fajita, who played linebacker for the black and gold from 06 to 09. We had a chance to catch up with Fajita earlier this week to discuss number 9's legacy.
Drew's, relationship and marriage to the community, it deserves to be romanticized. I think all the things that he's accomplished deserve to be romanticized because it's exceptional. There's no doubting that. I think there's a lot of conversation around like who's the GOAT, and I stay away from those things. I think those conversations are a little bit ridiculous. But has there been any single athlete who's meant more to his community than Drew Brees? Above all else, accolades, Super Bowls, has there ever been one person who meant more to a community than Drew? I would say that's a resounding no. So that's the legacy.
And Drew Brees is eligible for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2026. And as soon as next season, the Saints can put Drew Brees in the team's Ring of Honor. Fletcher?
Sharif, thank you very much. When Drew Brees signed with the Saints, he was in the exact same spot as the city. In the fan base he was now representing, a quarterback on the mend with a lot to prove, coming to a place that after Hurricane Katrina could be described the exact same way. Drew Brees walked into the Saints facility 15 years ago and made a bold promise to the passionate Houdat Nation.
We've got a tremendous opportunity to win and to win very quickly. And I know that this town is craving a winner, and you're going to get one.
And Brees delivered immediately. In one of professional sports' all-time great rags to riches stories, the Saints went from worst to first. The 2006 Black and Gold advanced to the NFC Championship game for the first time ever, and Brees finished second in the league MVP voting. Not bad for a guy some fans were unsure of. Free agent quarterback Drew Brees was in New Orleans. Is he the next Saints quarterback? We did a web poll to see what you thought about the Saints quarterback situation. We asked the question, should the Saints sign Brees or wait and select either USC's Matt Leinart or Texas QB Vince Young in the draft? Over 300 people logged on to WDSU.com and voted. 51% say sign Brees, 49% say wait and draft one of the other two. One of the reasons why many were initially skeptical of Drew Brees, he'd recently suffered a career-threatening shoulder injury while playing for the San Diego Chargers and was recovering from major surgery. But head coach Sean Payton bet on Brees for one big reason. He'd been a winner his entire life.
He's a guy, when you really research the player out of high school, he's 16-0. He made a big impact at Purdue when he arrived there with Coach Tiller. The same impact was made when he arrived at San Diego, and those aren't by accident. Those are things that that track record at that position, at this position, is I think, critical.
Brees leading the Saints to heavenly outcomes was also critical for a city trying to recover, rebuild, and generate positive headlines following the worst natural disaster in U.S. history.
Tourism is a multi-billion-dollar industry for New Orleans, and it's driven largely by image and perception. And we had a really tough image and perception battle coming out of Katrina. Drew helped us tremendously. The Saints helped us tremendously with that in a way that we could never afford to pay for. What Drew Brees has brought to this city and the brand of New Orleans is invaluable. You cannot put a price on it.
In 2009, Drew Brees led the Saints to football's promised land, a championship in Super Bowl 44. He was named the game's MVP.
I don't think people can describe what it means for the city unless you were there during Katrina. The Saints team have given hope back to the hopeless. That, I think, says it all.
We knew that we had an entire city and maybe an entire country behind us, just feeling like it was all meant to be. It's all destiny.
A destiny forged at a time of uncertainty that for 15 years grew to become something everyone is sure of. Drew Brees, the Saints, and the passionate Houdat Nation were meant to be linked and will walk together forever.
all Saints fans, me included, will feel like you're losing a little piece of yourself, right? I mean, it's not going to be normal to watch a Saints game or to be there in the dome and number 9 is not calling the shots back there. I mean, it is going to be weird, to put it as plainly as possible. But like I said, we all need to be thankful that he kind of came in to the organizational rescue or whatever you want to say. But man, to come in and do what he did is absolutely amazing. And I'll always be appreciative for my time and just having a little piece of action out there on the field with him.
Replacing a legend is never easy, but that's what Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill will have to do. We hear from head coach Sean Payton about replacing Drew Brees in the quarterback competition in 2021. And it was amazing to watch how Drew Brees changed the entire culture of Southeast Louisiana. Coming up, see how he's inspired the future generation of Saints fans.
Your retirement is the end of a beautiful chapter with New Orleans, but I know that it's only the beginning of what's ahead for you and for your family. So on behalf of the people of Louisiana and all of us Saints fans, congratulations, Drew. You've earned it. Who dat?
Congratulations, Drew Brees, on a great career and being a great ambassador for Louisiana. We're wishing you and your family in your retirement a great future. God bless you and your family. Once again, congratulations from down here in South Louisiana, where we're duck hunting. Hopefully you'll get to do a lot of duck hunting in your retirement.
WDSU's Saints on 6 Drew Brees, Forever a Saint, is brought to you by Crystal Hot Sauce, how New Orleans does flavor, and by Ketterman, Rowland & Westland, attorneys at law.